Welcome to another edition of Systemic Stupidity, where we systematically discuss the systemic stupidity that has been plaguing America today. Today's systemically stupid post comes from someone on Twitter named Kimberly Parker Tamlin Vesper. Kimberly says, "Using big words is another form of white supremacy. Blacks who live in urban areas don't have the same access to education as whites. This makes them less smart. If you feel the need to communicate like you are a thesaurus, you are probably a white supremacist." What makes me laugh about moronic, idiotic, stupid posts like these are that the person who wrote it most likely either voted for Obama or is a fan of Obama. Obama used a lot of big words, so many words to say nothing. Is he a white supremacist? Trump doesn't use a lot of big words, which the left accused him of speaking at a 4th grade level, but yet they call him a white supremacist all the time. A lot of obnoxious Democrat professors use big words like Ibram X. Kendi and Robin DiAngelo. Are they white supremacists? Ayanna Pressley, a congresswoman from Massachusetts, uses a lot of big words. Is she a white supremacist? Of course, everything I said was sarcasm because I don't think Obama, Ibram X. Kendi, Robin DiAngelo, or Ayanna Pressley are white supremacists. However, I think they are leftist supremacists. There are a few reasons people use big words. One is insecurity, another is to confuse their audience, and another is to manipulate their audience. Insecure people want to project a sense of confidence to the world, so they often use words that make them feel smart. Big words are usually difficult words, so the implication is that only a smart person would take the time to learn the definition of a big word. An insecure person will take that thought and think in their head, if I use a lot of big words, people will think I'm smart, and then maybe I'll actually feel smart. The insecure person lets other people's perception of them influence how they speak. That's why insecure people will change their thoughts when they think they haven't said what the other person wants to hear. An actual confident person will just talk as normal. If a big word is necessary in the conversation, the confident person will use it. If a small word fits better, the confident person will use it. Trump spoke at a casual level to the general public, not because he thought we were stupid, but just to more easily convey his message, because the public would understand him. Most everyone understands simple, small words, so you can reach more people if you talk casually. The confident person doesn't let other people's perception of them influence how they speak. The confident person uses logic and reason to guide their conversation. The insecure person uses the other person's thoughts to guide their conversation. When I say this, I don't mean the confident person is ignoring the other person's thoughts. I mean that the confident person doesn't let the other person's thoughts sway them or knock them off their game. The confident person is able to hold their own thought and hear another thought and discuss it. The insecure person lets the other person's thoughts sway them. The insecure person wants to appear like they are a certain way, so they will try to imitate or agree with the other person's thoughts as a way to get the other person to like them. Confusing the audience is another reason people use big words. The person using the big words will use them to hide their real intention. Maybe they're lying.
You're a liar.
So they use big words to confuse and distract people from their real intentions. Politicians often do this. While they're campaigning, they want the votes, so they'll use big fancy words that sound good, but once they're in office, their policies will suddenly be the complete opposite of what you thought they said in their campaign. The politician will have told the truth about their policy in their campaign, but because they used big fancy words, you were confused into thinking their terrible policy was the best thing since sliced bread. Con artists also do this when they want to confuse you into giving them all of your money, or whatever it is they're trying to con out of you. Manipulating the audience is another reason people use big words. It's similar to confusion, but there's an additional level on top of the confusion. The manipulation ties in with gaslighting. In the confusion example, the person was trying to cover up their bad behavior by tricking you into thinking it's good, but then once they've gotten away with it, the con is over. With manipulation, it's a long-term con. The person using the big words will try to change language without you noticing, so that you'll forget what was actually true. Ayanna Pressley did this with the pretentious way that she talked in her interview with Tracy Ross on the show Hair Tales.
So to be a Black woman, to be a Black girl, is to be both hyper-visible and invisible at the same time.
It was concerning to me because there were several situations where she turned a completely positive thing from her own life into a racist thing.
She was wondering if she did the right thing, sending me into this school where I was in the minority in every way.
Every time leftists talk about integration like it's this negative thing, where they may have been one of a few Black students in a white school, it makes me think they actually want segregation. She gaslit the audience into thinking that something good was bad, all because she used big words to distract and flip the script during her interview.
I had so internalized the social cues that I'd picked up and the ways in which I was successfully navigating and assimilated. And
the big words started out confusing you, then manipulated you, and then gaslit you when you believed what Ayanna said because she said so many words, including big words, to overwhelm you. By the time Ayanna gets to the end of her story, you've already been so twisted and turned around that you've forgotten what the top of the story was even about. This post is racist to Black people. Kimberly says, this makes them less smart. She is saying Black people are less smart. Another thing that leftist supremacists will do is use many words to say something for confusion and manipulation purposes. This person says a lot of words to say inner city schools are not good. She may be right in this, but she's using the words black and white for comparison purposes to trigger emotions. She also uses the phrase don't have the same access, again for comparison purposes to manipulate people. The real solution is to figure out why is the inner school not good. Crime does seem to be higher in urban areas, so maybe teachers aren't scrambling to get jobs there. Leftists can't say that though, because in their mind, that's a racist statement. That's not racist, that's just the truth. If you have a school that's not giving you good education, it's usually the teachers that are the problem. If the urban areas really wanted to improve their education, they could do that by improving the environment. And then more teachers would feel better applying to teach at those schools. Racism is when you claim that Black people are less smart than white people, just for the fact that they're Black. Kimberly. Idiots! This post shows two things: that the poster is racist against Black people, and that they don't want to solve anything. They want to stir up emotions, and that's why they choose the words they do and why they structure their sentences the way they do. The white supremacy thing is also a way to trigger emotions, namely guilt. The poster also gives an if statement. If you feel the need to communicate like you are a thesaurus. I've found this is a tactic leftists use to manipulate your emotions. This doesn't mean that you can't ever ask yourself if you do something, but there's a difference. This leftist says if you do this, then you are automatically that. They love doing this because it works. It used to work on me and I would get pissed off. But now I see beneath the bullshit and it doesn't make me mad anymore. I know I'm not a white supremacist because I don't think the white race is supreme over all other races. I am aware that the leftists don't mean the same thing I do about white supremacy, but I don't care what their definition is.
I don't care.
You free yourself from their bullshit when you refuse to use their definitions for your own life. You are not what they say you are because they are not the authority of you. They are tyrants trying to manipulate us. When they do this, if you do this, you are magically that, to try to get you to analyze your behavior, they're just trying to make you feel guilty so you will do what they want. Some of the easiest personalities to control are people who will automatically do themselves what the tyrant wants them to do. If the tyrant can get you to do what they want without them having to remind you of it, they have gotten you in their grasp. A good test to do on yourself is, if you do use big words, ask yourself if you are insecure, or if you are trying to confuse people because you're hiding something bad, or if you're trying to manipulate someone into doing what you want. You may not be insecure or trying to be confusing or manipulative, but you didn't know you used big words like that. If that's the case, that's great. Now you know that you do it, so you can change it and only use big words when it's appropriate. People appreciate others who are genuine and concise. It doesn't mean you're stupid, it just means you're not trying to be fake. That does it for today's systemically stupid post. Well, that does it for Systemic Stupidity, where we discuss the systemic stupidity that has been plaguing America today. Thank you for tuning in and have a good night.